Shoes are made to protect and comfort our feet. Shoes help us do the things that make us who we are. Shoes come in all kinds of shapes and sizes. Some are for decoration. They show personal style and individual expression. Some are built for a specific purpose, to get the job done. Shoes help us work. Shoes help us play. They support us. They protect us. Shoes are an extension of who we are. They remind us of where we've been and where we want to go. Shoes are made to get us to the place we're supposed to be. Shoes are like Key Club. Shoes are made to take us places. Places you've never been. Places you've been 100 times. Places that will be better because you came. And places that will make you better after you've left. Key Club is where people meet and friends are made. It's where you learn about life while you have the time of your life. It's about following in the footsteps of others and blazing your own trails. Because no matter where you want to go, it all starts with the first step.
Hey everyone, let me switch over to the slides real quick. Just wait one more moment. Okay. Good evening, PNW Key Clubbers and advisors. Thank you so much for coming, and I hope everyone is having a great summer so far. Welcome to our July 2020 Membership Growth and Reactivation webinar hosted by the Pacific Northwest Membership Growth and Reactivation Committee. MGRC for short. Throughout this webinar, we'll be talking about membership recruitment and retention, especially during the pandemic, including effective ways to hold great meetings. We'll also highlight how related resources can be used effectively. Okay, a little bit about us. So my name is Julia Lynn, and this year I'm serving as the chair of the Membership Growth and Reactivation Committee, or MGRC for short. I'm also serving as the Lieutenant Governor of Division 65. The MGR committee members include our Executive Liaison, District Treasurer Tara Maipin, from Division 28, Kelsey Borland, Lieutenant Governor of Division 21, Jennifer Chun from Lieutenant Governor of Division 45, Morgan Fromm, Lieutenant Governor of Division AYS, Elena Robinson, Lieutenant Governor of Division 30, Isaac Yee, Lieutenant Governor of Division 34, and Francisco Dehania, Lieutenant Governor of Division 1936. So now that you know who we are, let's get this webinar started. So we'll start with our membership goal. So there are currently 12,124 Key Club members in the Pacific Northwest District, and our district membership goal for next year is 12,650 members by District Convention 2021.
Hi, my name is Morgan Fromm, and I'm the Lieutenant Governor of Division AYS. Now that we've established a district membership goal for 2020-2021, let's transition in the topic of membership recruitment. So there are a lot of methods that you can use to promote Key Club and increase your membership. By far, the most effective method of promotion is through personal connections or word of mouth. This allows you to establish a connection with an individual and explain what Key Club is, along with the benefits of becoming a member. Talk to your friends or people in your classes and bring up Key Club in conversations you have with your friends. And remember, people don't join clubs, they're gonna wanna join with other people. So try and be someone other people wanna join. As we prepare for the beginning of the school year, many clubs are going to be operating virtually. I know that my school district has already declared they're going to start the school year off virtually. This means promotion and recruitment will need to be online as well. You can still talk to your classmates through texts and virtual classes, and also have your members bring their friends to virtual meetings. It's just going to require a little bit more online networking. You can also use posters. The most effective recruitment posters advertise your club's first meeting or first few meetings in a unique way. You can use apps like Canva to design these posters. To make your posters stand out from the competition, use vibrant colors with good contrast, and hang up these posters in high traffic areas like the front of the school, the commons, and cafeterias. If your club is meeting virtually because of the pandemic, try to make posters that can be shared through Instagram, Snapchat, and other social media platforms. And you can also see if you can post them on your school's website or social media channels. And you can also use Canva for this. Maintaining an active Instagram or other social media is also a good way to recruit members. If your Instagram is active, then people are going to assume your club is active, and generally people want to be a part of a club that is doing things and will have information that's especially helpful to them. For example, you should always include a screenshot from your virtual meetings or spotlight a speaker you'll be featuring at a future meeting. You'll also want to use your school's announcements to remind students about upcoming meetings, events, and deadlines. Try to introduce Key Club using an interesting hook at the beginning of the announcement, and it's a good idea to mention that your club is open to everyone and always looking to new members. Again, if you're planning on meeting virtually, try to get your club or upcoming meetings spotlighted in an email or any digital announcement that your school may be sending. Some schools are using an app called Canvas, and they normally release announcements to there on a weekly basis, so that's something you can try and utilize. Many of our schools have already held their club recruitment fairs, and if your Key Club has had a booth at the fair, then that's a great way to recruit new members. But if your school has not held a club recruitment fair, make sure that you try and participate when it happens. If your school is hosting a recruitment fair online, try to make sure you participate it as soon as possible. But if your school isn't holding a virtual meeting or recruitment fair, try to check with your school principal and see if there's ways you can contact freshmen. And this will be especially helpful if you have a well-established connection to the administration. Now, in the end, there's a lot of ways to promote your Key Club to different groups and people, including emails, virtual events, and social media. But the most convincing way to get people to join is through contacting them individually through text messages, through social media, and basically any virtual platform you can. So on the screen you see is the advertising graphic. To find more detailed promotion strategies, check out the advertisement section of the membership guidebook, and you'll be able to find graphics exactly like the one you see in front of you.
Hi everyone, my name is Kelsey Borland. I'm the Lieutenant Governor of Division 21, and now that we've discussed how to advertise your club, I want to go over what you should be promoting. So Key Club is a really unique club because of the benefits it can offer to its members. So try to figure out how students of your club can personally benefit from joining the club. As an example, if you need service hours to graduate from your school, advertise that joining Key Club is a great way to help you get those hours. If your club is like my school and doesn't have a service hour requirement, think about what else Key Club can offer to students in your school. So regardless of where your school is, Key Club can generally offer its members the following: service. Key Club provides service opportunities for its members, which can be rewarding because people generally want to make a difference in their community. And connections. Key Club helps people make genuine connections with other students through club events, DCMs, Key Club Days, Beacon, and more. Key Club is one of the few clubs that allow you to connect with students from other schools across the Pacific Northwest. Leadership. Key Club offers a variety of leadership opportunities with the club, on the club, division, district, and international levels. So leadership opportunities like this can help you become a better leader and build skills related to public speaking, professionalism, among other things. Fun. Key Club provides numerous opportunities to have fun because it draws in so many different kinds of people from your high school. College apps. Key Club provides you an opportunity to get involved in a club that is recognized by most colleges and show your passion for helping others, which is something college admission officers value. And then finally, accessibility. Although many sports and clubs will be unable to continue meeting as a result of COVID-19, Key Club is one of the organizations that can adapt to this virtual environment and continue offering its members service and educational opportunities. Members and advisors as an opportunity to be a positive resource for students during social distancing and virtual instruction.
Okay, your first meeting. Hi everyone, my name is Julia Lynn again, and I'm serving as the Membership Growth and Reactivation Committee Chair, as well as the Lieutenant Governor of Division 65. Your first meeting, whether it's in person or virtual, is the most important meeting that you will have because you only get one chance at making a good first impression. A successful first meeting sets up the rest of your school year for success. So, sorry. Okay. So your first meeting agenda. Make sure to include interactive aspects in your first meeting. Plan a fan challenge or an activity that gets people connecting with other people that they normally wouldn't talk to. Feel free to check out the guidebook for icebreakers based on club size. Have the officer board introduce themselves to the members. Make sure that your board still interacts with members and is approachable both in person and virtually. If your club is meeting virtually, your board should try to make sure each individual who attended the meeting is contacted personally after their first meeting. Go over some Key Club 101. Talk about what Key Club does, what our mission is, and make sure to talk about what your club does as well. Include pictures from past events. You need to show people what Key Club is rather than telling them. And there's a little graphic on the side too, which is kind of just like an overview of all of that. And also have incentives to come to the first meeting, even if it is being held virtually. For example, maybe you can provide prizes for winners of a Kahoot that can be mailed after the meeting adjourns. However, if you are able to meet in person and give out pizza or donuts at the first meeting, wait until the end of the meeting to give them out. Don't break the bank buying food for your first meeting. You can do something smaller like giving candy to members instead. Okay. A successful first meeting tips and tricks. So promotion. Start advertising for your meeting at least 2 weeks in advance and make sure your existing members are promoting it to their friends. This will leave time for possible attendees to ask any questions that they may have about the meeting. This also allows your current members and prospective members to plan ahead and adjust their schedules accordingly to accommodate the meeting. Create hype by promoting through different platforms, whether it's posting on Instagram, personal invitations, hanging posters, or sending out a big email. Be engaging and interactive. Key Club will be represented the way that you present it, so be excited and encouraging to portray Key Club as the fun and engaging experience that it is. Share your positive experiences with Key Club and talk about how Key Club has affected you personally to help create a bond between Key Club and your attendees. Making your first meeting a positive experience for attendees will encourage them to attend future meetings. Make sure to interact with attendees as well, whether it's with icebreakers or answering questions. Help inform your attendees about what your club is planning to do in the fall, but be engaging with the information so attendees will retain the information and not zone out. Emphasize the purpose of Key Club. So be clear about what Key Club is ultimately about. Service. Give examples of what fundraisers and service projects your Key Club organizes in your community and the impact that you make. Be informative and knowledgeable to showcase what Key Club really is as a high school club. Incentives. So incentives are a great way to increase attendance at any meetings. Examples of meeting-only incentives could include giving attendees snacks after the meeting, being able to participate in a service project after the meeting, or having the first opportunity to sign up for new service projects after the meeting. Schedule conveniently. Schedule your meeting at a time that is convenient for attendees. An example of a bad time to schedule a meeting would be at 8 a.m. in the morning, since many people would be unwilling to attend since a lot of people aren't awake at that time. An example of a convenient time when it would be right after school or maybe at noon. Make sure to schedule your meetings on days where there's not a lot going on so more people will be able to attend. Virtual meetings. Restrictions on in-person meetings and events are important to keep in mind when planning your Key Club meeting. Due to COVID-19 restrictions on social gatherings, it is very likely that most meetings and events will need to be held virtually during the fall. Here are some great examples of great virtual meeting platforms to use for Key Club meetings. The most popular one would be Zoom, but keep in mind that unless you have a pro subscription, the meeting will be cut off at 40 minutes. Each platform has pros and cons, such as ease of use, time limits, or attendee limits, so make sure you do your research before deciding on the platform to hold your meeting. Virtual meeting icebreakers. So icebreakers are super important to provide an engaging and interactive experience for attendees. Some examples of virtual icebreakers can include Key Club Kahoot/trivia. This can be an easy and fun way to get attendees excited and a great opportunity to help them learn more about Key Club. Breakout rooms within Zoom. So if using Zoom, you can scramble and assign your attendees to random breakout sessions so they can get to know new people. You can have each room find 3 things that they have in common and report them back into the main room, which is an icebreaker called Something in Common. Make sure each breakout room has a facilitator so people will not sit in awkward silence, and you're clear about how much time they have to complete the activity. Questions. So send questions in the chat and have participants write out answers in the chat or pick an attendee to answer out loud. Some examples could be, what's your favorite song right now and why? Or what's something that you're looking forward to this week? Asking questions keeps everyone engaged, but also allows them to meet and learn more about new people. Emoji check-in. You can ask your attendees to send an emoji in the chat that they would use either to describe themselves as a person or describe how they're feeling at that moment. Then choose a couple of people to explain why they chose that emoji. Other examples of icebreakers include 2 truths and a lie, would you rather, never have I ever, scavenger hunt, show and tell, and team building bingo. Okay. This is the recruitment video, so showing this video is a good way to introduce Key Club to people who are new to it. It's a really good overview video and kind of just good for people who don't really know what Key Club is. So I'm gonna play this. Let me... Let's...
Did you know that Key Club is the world's largest student-led service organization?
Key Club has more than 250,000 members worldwide in over 38 different countries.
We also partner with reputable organizations such as UNICEF, March of Dimes, Children's Miracle Network, and the Thirst Project.
To date, we have helped save and protect lives by eliminating maternal and neonatal tetanus in 26 countries.
In the Pacific Northwest District, as part of our efforts to end the global water crisis, we raised $8,000 in only 1 minute for the Thirst Project in District Convention last year.
Not only does Key Club help raise funds for our preferred charities, but we also provide 10 million hours of service each year to the communities we serve.
So why should you join Key Club?
Service!
The aspect of community service instantly drew me in. High school is stressful with all the college applications, AP classes, sports, and homework. It can be hard to find time for yourself. Fortunately, I found a passion for service through Key Club. I remember one of my first service projects was going to Northwest Children's Outreach, and seeing the descriptions of the recipients instantly motivated me to serve more and to further support an organization that was solely focused on service.
Connections.
I originally joined Key Club because of my involvement with the Kiwanis Middle School program called Builders Club, and my grandfather being a Kiwanian. This has allowed me to make lifelong connections with not only my own community, but within the entire Pacific Northwest. The Kiwanis family also includes K Kids for elementary school students, Circle K for college students, and Action Club for adults with special needs.
Fun!
My memories of Key Club will always be fun ones. From attending divisional council meetings where we made Christmas presents for children in need, to our club meetings every Thursday where we would sometimes have Kahoots or service projects. I don't remember a dull moment. My fondest memories of all are from attending international convention and district convention with other members of the PNW. These fun memories really make Key Club special to me.
Leadership. The reason I joined Key Club is because I wanted to lead a change in my school and in my community. My personal experience began when I was a freshman and I started off as just a member. After becoming the Thirst Project Committee Chair for Coeur d'Alene High School, I knew with that title I would be able to motivate others to think more about our global community. Key Club has allowed me to recognize that service can create any impact you want to have. Leading others not only teaches valuable life skills, it connects you with so many different types of people that share the same values and hold the same aspirations.
Reclaiming our way of life!
Okay, so that was a great idea, great example of like one of the recruitment videos that we would use to advertise Key Club for people who don't really know what it is. Go back to the presentation now. Okay. So here's a personal invitation that you can kind of fill out and customize to your own liking. Personal invitations are a useful way of spreading the word for your first meeting. Print out a ton of these invitations and hand them out at your school. Make sure to be inclusive when handing them out. Personal invitations also allow you to establish a personal connection with prospective members. It's important to understand that you can't recruit someone that you don't really know. So if your school is operating virtually, consider creating virtual invitations that can be emailed or direct message to prospective members to invite them to your first meeting, or just invite them to learn more about Key Club.
Hi everyone, I'm Elena Robson and I'm the Lieutenant Governor for Division 30. So once you have recruited new members during the beginning of the year, the next step would be to retain these members throughout the year. Often larger clubs struggle with inactive members, so here are some tips to help combat that. Please keep in mind that these tips and tricks will also work with smaller clubs as well. Many clubs make the mistake of holding the same type of meetings over and over again. That can be one of the fastest ways to lose members later in the year because members aren't able to get something new out of meetings. However, if you vary your meeting types, you are able to cater to different members' desires. When meetings are different each time, members have a reason to regularly attend your meeting. When it comes to the meetings, there are 3 types, which are fun, service, and informational. To provide your members with the experience that they want, survey your members to determine what they want to get out of the meetings. See which type of meetings they prefer. Agenda ideas include poster making, playing a Key Club Kahoot, writing thank you cards, Key Club 101, updates from the district, Thirst Project 101, or making care packages, or anything else you feel like your members need to know about. Here are some examples of possible guest speakers for your meetings if you wish to include an educational program for your members, or you can reach out to other local organizations. If you want more ideas on how to mix up your meetings, check out the non-icebreaker meeting ideas document in the tips and tricks folder of the toolkit. Moving on to the next topic, making personal connections with members is an important part of forming a successful club. By forming personal bonds with members, your club will have stronger communication, more enthusiasm, and provide its members with a more meaningful experience. The first step that a club can take to building personal connections is to show members that you appreciate their effort. Take time during your meetings to acknowledge service that members have done or other specific contributions to the club or community. You'll find that your club officers have a better grasp of your club's accomplishments and who is achieving what, and that your members will feel like they have more of a purpose in being active in your club. The second and third points pertain to the sense of purpose. Giving your members a reason to be at the meetings or projects, whether it's to see a friend, have fun, or to achieve a separate goal, is always something that will keep them coming back. Talk with your members to learn about why they're joining Key Club and make adjustments to your agendas and events to better accommodate these needs of the group. A few ideas that you may find useful for building personal connections. Establishing, especially in smaller, more intimate club settings, are to give birthday cards to club members or spotlight achievements. These gestures not only require you to learn more about your members, but help them feel like they have a place in your club, which motivates them to stay engaged. For clubs of any size, you may find it productive to organize an event or project with the simple and easy social aspect, such as a group meal or an icebreaker, to help your members network with one another. Additionally, encourage your officers and possibly every member to talk with one new person at each meeting. For officers, making new friends with your club can inspire those members to bring even more people in and can provide a new perspective on how your board can be more effective leaders. Ultimately, connecting with members makes the club more productive. If members feel personally attached to the club, they will be more willing to do service. It also contributes to the continuity of the club by allowing others to see behind-the-scenes aspects of how the club functions, thus making a smart investment in the short term and long term. So here are some service examples. Some of these include those that can be done virtually due to COVID-19. Feel free to share any other service ideas that you have that can be done virtually in the chat now.
Hello, everybody. My name is Isaac Yee, and I'm the Lieutenant Governor of Division 34. This section of the webinar features resources that can be used by clubs to help increase and retain membership. These resources include sections such as the Membership Toolkit, Membership Guidebook, 8th Grade Recruitment Kit, and Recruitment Video. As a reminder, all of the resources that I mentioned previously can be found on the district website at this link. The toolkit is a Google Drive folder that provides you with lots of graphics and documents, and you can utilize these to help you direct your meetings and to help retain members and grow your membership. Inside the toolkit, you can find the 8th grade recruitment kit in the guidebook. The toolkit also contains membership goal spreadsheets and related graphics, personal invitations, recruitment flyers, and many useful tips and tricks. The membership guidebook can also be found on Issue. The guidebook provides you with a much more in-depth look at strategies for membership recruitment and retention. You can also learn more about personal invitations, club bonding ideas, incentives, icebreakers, advertisements, and first meeting tips. Similar to the toolkit, the 8th grade recruitment kit is also found in the form of a Google Drive folder. In springtime, the Membership Growth and Reactivation Committee recommends that each club visits their local middle schools to promote Key Club to prospective members. The goal of this visit is to expose 8th graders who will be attending a high school in your division to Key Club before freshman orientation. Inside the 8th grade recruitment kit, you can find flyers to hand out during your visits, a fact document that covers anticipated questions asked by 8th graders, and a presentation template with accompanying slide notes. If your club primarily consists of seniors, we really recommend that you use this resource and visit a local middle school to ensure that you will have freshmen joining your club in the fall. These videos linked below are great resources to showcase Key Club as well as our district project, the Thirst Project. Feel free to use these at your first meetings so attendees can learn more.
Thank you so much, Isaac. So we're going to move on to an open floor question section. So if there are any questions that you want to ask, we can answer them. But this concludes our membership growth and recruitment webinar. We hope that you were able to obtain valuable information to help your club succeed. We will now begin our Q&A session. Please use the chat function to ask your questions. When asking questions, please be as detailed as you can. The more specific you can be about your situation, the more helpful our feedback can be. If your club is struggling with membership, this would be the perfect time to ask for help. So if you want to just leave some questions in the chat function, we can answer them for you. Okay, so the first question is, where can we access the toolkit? So the toolkit can be accessed by Google link. There is a Google Drive link that is, you can access it on the P&W Key Club website. If you click on, I think it's membership, it's like one of the sections, it's membership on the website, and you can, there's like a link to the toolkit where you can see all of the membership growth and retention resources and everything we talked about in the presentation. Okay. Yeah, Kelsey just sent out the toolkit link in the chat. If you guys want to take a look, it should all be linked there, all the resources that we talked about. Okay. How do you suggest getting more members to attend fundraisers and or other club events? So my advice would probably be just to promote. Definitely use Instagram a lot. Use platforms that your members generally will use. Like Instagram would definitely be a better option than Facebook because just generally more people will use Instagram because it shows up on their feed. Definitely email reminders. Definitely email reminders would be really useful, but just utilizing like your website, email, mailing list, word of mouth, those are all great options to publicize fundraisers and other club events.
I would also like to add, the best way to get people to attend your club events is to directly message through text or something. That way it's more personal and they're more inclined to go. And that's speaking from personal experience. That's the best way.
Mm-hmm. And someone asked about, someone asked if there's a link to the slideshow. So this webinar is just recorded. So we'll be sending out this recording. This recording will probably be on the website or like maybe the PNW Key Club YouTube. But it will be provided to members for you guys to look back on. And this presentation link will probably be included onto the PNW Key Club website in the membership resources tab. Okay. Another question is, how do you recommend us to reach out to freshmen this year if we didn't have a chance to visit any middle schools before COVID? So this is a great question because I know that's really tough since it's just not like recruiting is just not the same, I guess, like in person. But definitely reach out to principals and see if there's any way that you can reach out to all the incoming 8th graders' parents over the summer, and definitely reach out to your principal of your high school and see if you can get like those kinds of resources, and definitely ask about like how the recruitment fair or like how clubs in general are going to work this year. Just getting all of that information and kind of choosing your best decision, choosing your best option is probably like the best that you can do right now. But still, like word of mouth, like get your upperclassmen to reach out to your like freshmen and be like, oh, like, you know, Key Club's an amazing club and here's why. But definitely just using word of mouth, personal connections, and also reaching out to like administration and working with administration to kind of get your Key Club publicized in your school. Because I know there's a lot of clubs that are unable to kind of adapt, but Key Club is one of those clubs that can adapt during COVID-19. So definitely like utilizing that and capitalizing on that would be great. And also like emphasizing that Key Club is a great club that can be done, like that can be adaptable. So like it's very virtual and like yeah. What type of community service ideas do you have for during COVID? So there is, back in the presentation, some of the service project ideas were making cards for first responders, hand sewn masks, just kind of like COVID-19 related service projects like hygiene, like focusing around hygiene and health and safety and all of those. Definitely there's some definitely there will be some, you can look back in the presentation and kind of look at those ideas and see if any of those your club can work out. But generally, like, there will be like there can be like a Google Doc sent out with like all of those ideas. For clubs who already struggled with membership before the pandemic, how do you recommend to retain existing members? Let's see. Yeah, so membership retention is super important, especially during this time. Kind of just keeping in touch with all of your members and especially reaching out to them personally is a great way. Like if you have an officer board, reaching out to these members personally is very just like, oh, like just checking in, how are you doing, and all of that. And kind of just like still establishing and maintaining that personal connection with them is really important. Just still keeping with like existing service projects, maybe updates, how you're doing. Just like kind of keeping in touch, I feel like is the best way to retain members during this time. And also holding these virtual meetings. So like definitely like holding regular virtual meetings and still trying to keep everyone like, oh, like Key Club is year round, we're still trying to get around to this, is really important.
Yeah, and I just like to recommend always asking for a response from your members when you send out reminds or emails, because then you're more likely to actually know that they're reading them, and then you can know who's been reading your stuff and maybe like individually text certain members to see if they're interested in Key Club still. But you're probably not gonna know who exactly to contact unless you ask for a response with like emails and reminds.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Let me see. Okay. What would be the best way to get members interested in showing up to the meetings that the officers attend to that are optional for them? Oh, wait. Oh, okay. I think this question is asking, what would be the best way to get members in, like, to come to the meetings? You can correct me if I'm wrong. Sorry. But basically the question is saying, what would be the best way to get members interested in showing up to the meetings that the officers attend? So definitely just promoting, like, you know, hyping it up, kind of just like still rolling out those all of those information and resources about Key Club. And also like reminding them of like your virtual service and like kind of like what you guys are doing during this time, like how are you guys like still keeping involved with the community and all of that. I think would be the best way to get members like to keep coming to meetings and all of that. And definitely virtual incentives, like maybe like I know a lot of people like are kind of cut off from the world during this time, so kind of just like oh, like icebreakers, like we're going to be doing some fun activities or like fundraising, or like I know a lot of people have time during this time, so maybe like virtual meetings, like you can have a meeting where you do a service project like making hand sewn masks together, or making cars for first responders together. That would be awesome.
If I can jump on to that last question. So a lot of clubs require like a certain amount of numbers of hours. So if it was like a huge problem for you with members not coming to meetings, you could require a certain amount of meetings that you have to attend. If it's like really a big problem, and be like you have to attend 75% of the meetings within the year. That could be a good way to make people actually come and actually care more. So.
And Cindy Tran, did you have a question? I'm so sorry if I skipped past you.
Julia, can I add a comment here?
Yeah.
For our Key Clubbers to be able to go to decon in the spring, they have to attend so many meetings for the club. They have to attend so many DCMs. And so maybe that's something they need to announce at the beginning of the school year, about going to the DCM and talking about that a lot and what's required to be able to go, because that might get people to come to the meetings more regularly. I know at my club in Reynolds, because they know those are the requirements, a lot of the kids show up to the meetings because they are thinking about going to the DCM. That sometimes is a help.
Sorry. Cindy Tran, did you have a question? Sorry. Okay, if you do, you can leave it in the chat. I'm so sorry if I skip past you. Okay, in making a promotional video for a high school Key Club intended for new members, what would you recommend including? So this is a really great question. You can definitely refer back to any of the promotional videos that we already have on the PNW Key Club, but kind of just emphasizing what Key Club's about, what you guys do, your impact on the community, like specifically, I think would be really useful. Kind of just like include pictures from past service projects, but just make it like a very personal video that people will be able to relate to, and definitely make it really engaging and all of that.
If I could jump onto that, I would say maybe possibly including testimonials from past members or officers and talk about their experience. And often just like asking them why they joined Key Club might be advertisement in itself, understanding why people join and what sort of people that Key Club attracts.
And definitely emphasizing the reasons to join. We talked about that a little bit earlier in the presentation, but yeah, definitely just emphasizing the reasons to join, like leadership, like positions, like college apps, all like fun, all of that, and kind of just like emphasizing all of those like core values and reasons, like just core reasons to join Key Club and like what Key Club is as a program is just very effective in making your promotional video. But definitely reach out to me if you need any more help with that. I can give you some resources, and yeah, I can give you some resources and all of that if you need more help with that.
Okay, so the next question asks, what is the best way to get already existing members to take on officer positions?
So I think one of the best ways to get existing members to take on officer positions is literally just promoting it. Like a lot of people will kind of, I guess, a lot of people in Key Club are already very service-based and everything. So I think most members of Key Club are like kind of, I guess, willing to take on that extra work because like if they're in Key Club, then they obviously care about the organization. Kind of just reaching out to people that you think would be great, like, and just like making it very personal, like, oh, like this is like what we do, and like this is like we can like kind of just like the guidelines and be very specific about what role that they're taking on. Would be a good way to get existing members to take on officer positions. And also just promoting, like if you send out if you put out like an application link, I'm sure that some people will fill it out. But definitely just promoting.
Also, make sure you promote it early so people have time to prepare and like maybe time to get it in their head that they can do it, because it's really nervous, even just like the initial officer position, especially if it's a freshman or a sophomore considering it, because it's still like their first, second year of high school. So the earlier you get it out there, the more time people are going to have to process and like convince themselves that they can do it.
Hi, if I could jump in on this one. My name is Alice Lee. I'm the district secretary, and this has been sort of an ongoing problem within many clubs across our district. And what I found is that a very large barrier for members in considering running for an officer position was that they felt like they weren't prepared or responsible enough or had enough experience to pursue an officer position. And I think it's very important that you make it clear to your members that an officer position, though it requires responsibility and passion and lots of work, is a new learning experience for everyone that steps into the position. There's no one that is just born a Key Club president or born a Key Club secretary. And your LTGs and the executive committee and oftentimes your Audis will be really helpful in supporting you. And if you have questions and problems that you run into an encounter throughout that sort of experience of pursuing an officer position for the first time. You're surrounded by people who can offer you great resources that will make your term a lot easier and overall just a positive experience. And I think it's a great way to contribute more, not only to your own club, but to your surrounding community, and have a very great lasting direct impact.
Mm-hmm. Make sure you're very accessible and like kind of just like available to answer these questions, because if they're an existing member, they probably have a lot of questions about like, oh, like what roles do I have, and like what role I would have, and like kind of just like the guidelines of everything. Just being accessible and being available to answer questions, I feel like is very like convincing in itself. Okay, if you got off on the wrong foot with another officer, what would you recommend to do to restore the relationship?
Julia, may I comment on this question?
Of course. Yeah.
So I think when it comes to having a good relationship with your officers, the first step that you would need to take is having a mediated discussion with them, including a faculty advisor or Kiwanis advisor, just an adult who's able to watch over the discussion, but just being honest with each other and figuring out the root of the problem. But also what tends to be really successful is having a service agreement for every officer to sign at the beginning of the term, so they know exactly what responsibilities that they have and they need to accomplish, and then everyone can keep each other accountable. So I think having a service agreement and just having discussions while including the adults will be able to help you mend that relationship.
Thank you, Kalia.
Okay, so the next question asks, what can officers do if they want to get more involved with Key Club events outside of their school club? For example, the Thirst Project.
So Thirst Project has their own social media and website that I definitely recommend you would follow. They always post all of their opportunities. I think they also have an email subscription. They can send you the resources. But if you're especially wondering how to get involved with the Thirst Project, the District Project Committee has a lot of different resources, especially on the PNW Key Club website that you can check out. Just first doing research about the Thirst Project and seeing if that's something that's of interest to your club to participate in, and then figuring out how to host a fundraiser and how to maybe bring them to your school or host an online event with them so your club can learn more about the Thirst Project is one way that you can get involved.
And then if you were looking at more divisional level stuff, I would always try to contact your lieutenant governor to see if they're planning anything, because if you reach out to them, I'm sure they have something that you could help, like try to plan a project with like an interclub project or something like that, because your lieutenant governor has all the contact information for all the schools.
Mm-hmm. If your club is interested in kind of just pursuing like external service projects in general, a great resource would be PNWOF. So the Pacific Northwest Opportunities Fund is it's like a grant application that you can fill out to get funding for your projects if you want to do like a big service project outside of your club kind of thing. And all of that information is also linked on the PNW Key Club website and all of that. But make sure to reach out to your lieutenant governor with any questions, or you can reach out to me too as well.
You can also contact your Kiwanis Key Club sponsoring club and see if there are projects that they are doing that might need some help. Because we Kiwanians always love when our Key Clubbers come and help us with projects. At Christmas time, we do bell ringing, and our Key Clubbers come out with a vengeance and they help us ring bells. But we have other events. We have some breakfasts that they come and help with. And so if you ask your Kiwanis club that sponsors your Key Club, they would love to have you be part of their activities too. So that's another area to seek out.
The next question is, how do you make virtual meetings just as engaging as in-person meetings? Oh, wait, sorry. I'm sorry, I got distracted. How do you make virtual meetings just as engaging as in-person meetings? So this is a really big problem, since this year will mostly be virtual because of COVID, but we talked about like kind of just adapting virtually earlier in the presentation, but kind of just following these virtual icebreakers, like making sure to still interact with your members, and also like creating different agendas. So kind of just like varying your agenda, having like a guest speaker every once in a while would be amazing. Have like some kind of like service aspect to your meeting would also be great, but kind of just switching up the agenda and not doing the same thing every time. Having like concise but also like informational meetings is great. Just like kind of just making the best out of your members' time.
Yeah, and I would totally recommend to you guys checking out the virtual engagement webinar recording if you didn't go to the webinar itself, because that has a ton of cool tips and tricks about how to like make your meeting like upbeat basically from the time it starts. So it's like really, really cool, and I'd really recommend watching it because it has stuff like how to do polls on Zoom, and it's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Is that all of the questions? Let's see. And then I just sent my email into the chat, and you guys can all reach me here.
And there will be a slide at the end of the presentation with contact information if you all want to take a picture of it.
Okay. Yeah, if that's all the questions, can move on.
Julie, I think there was one more question.
Oh.
From Sean.
Oh, Tara answered that one privately. Sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Oh, okay. How do we bridge the gap from your club to the community while fundraising? Okay, as I said, kind of just reaching out to like the local organizations and like just seeing who needs help in the community is seeing like just reaching out to like the local organizations in your community. It kind of differs from place to place, but for me, like I would reach out to like the Oregon Food Bank since that's really nearby, but just like community wise, like just local organizations, local businesses, and all of that. But it really does depend on your location and all of that. But some like general ones would be kind of like fundraising for Thirst Project, which is our district project. But generally it does depend on like where your club is and kind of like what organizations are in your community.
I would also recommend, maybe if you're comfortable with this, or if you can do it safely, going door to door, or once it's safe to do this, you can go door to door and try to connect with people within your neighborhoods, ask for donations or make pledges for like how many miles you'll walk. And you could probably even do this through like your phone. You could just like knock on the door and like step back a couple feet and just like talk that way. But definitely don't do that if you can't do it safely. But it's still a cool way to get to know your community and get your community involved.
Mm-hmm. And definitely like partnering with other clubs at your school is also a very good idea. I know my my home key club, they do partnerships with like NHS all the time, NHS, UNICEF, and like all of those kinds of like service organizations are great to partner with and connect to the community together. Yeah, and definitely ask for help from your Kiwanis Club advisor and partner on some projects with Kiwanis, as Kathleen said.
The next question asks, how can you utilize your LTG to improve your club's membership, and what resources should we know to use online?
So each LTG is reachable by their email. So it should be LTG, your division number, and then at pnwkeyclub.org. So that's how you can reach out to your LTG. But all of these resources are on the PNW Key Club website, and you can look through them. There's a membership retention guidebook. This presentation will be on there. There's like membership growth webinars included on the PNW Key Club YouTube. Like LTG 62 at pnwkeyclub.org if your division is 62. But mostly a lot of like the membership resources that you would be using would probably be like 8th grade recruitment and like just like the toolkit. But all of those are all of those can be found on the PNW Key Club website, along with kind of just like they're organized into folders. So it should be pretty easy to find out how to use those resources. But as I said, you can always reach out to me if you need help with that too. Oh yeah, definitely make sure your LTG adds you onto their email list. So LTG will send out a newsletter every month, and that has all kinds of important announcements and all of that. They'll like be promoting and all of that, and you can also reach out to them through the mailing list. If that's everything, we can move on. So yeah, as I said, if you have more questions, you can always reach out to me through my email. So this concludes our membership growth and recruitment webinar. We hope that you were able to obtain valuable information to help your club succeed during the pandemic and reach its membership goals. If you still have questions about something covered during the webinar or like to speak with someone during someone from the Membership Growth and Reactivation Committee, please don't hesitate to contact us. We would love to answer your questions and assist your club in reaching its membership goals. To contact me, Julia, you can email me at membership@pnwkeyclub.org. I also put that link down in the description. Sorry, not in the description, in the chat. But thank you everyone for attending. We wish you the best of luck in your membership endeavors and hope you reach all of your club's goals. Have a great night, everyone, and please continue to stay safe and healthy. Yeah, thank you guys so much for coming. Have a great night.